Hi, I'm Rachel Whitefield, certified life coach, and with me is everybody's favorite ex-wife, Jackie Black. Thank you for joining us on another fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield. Jackie, once again, you are coming from us internationally, all the way from England. So
Across the pond, if you
across the
will.
pond, yes, very exciting. So, what whiskey are you drinking today on the show?
I'm finishing off this blended Scotch whiskey, but I have another one on deck for our next show, so I can't wait to share you that. But I'm going to finish off this blended Scotch whiskey. It is really delicious, and I'm just going to mix it up with some Coke. I don't have ice molds here, so it
Girl,
is what it is. What do you have?
I have got ice molds for the both of us. But first things first, on deck for me, for our YouTube watchers, it's on screen right now. I am partaking in this episode. As you are English, I am sticking close to home. Rocky Mountain Stranahan's Blue Peak Single Malt Whiskey made in the heart of Denver. This is right off I-25 for anyone in that corridor. You can see their distillery right in the heart of Denver. Absolutely. So this is handcrafted at high altitude elevation, 5,280 feet, straight from the Mile High City. Colorado single malt whiskey, Solera finish, rich and mellow. Distilled from 100% malted barley and cut to proof with pristine Rocky Mountain water. I want to say I agree with that. I swim in the open and lakes up here, and it is pristine Rocky Mountain water. I'll take it.
Is
So
it beautiful?
it is beautiful. Yes, strandyhands.com. Yep, I like it.
Look, I put mine in a glass with a straw so I can. Today's topic's going to be juicy goss. So
Yes. Let me see real
I'm really
quick,
sucking
just
it down.
for the heart of the whiskey
Yeah.
connoisseurs here on our show. Let me see on the bottle, it says the Solera process. Inspired by Spanish sherry bodegas, at the heart of our distillery sit unique oak vats called foeders. Never emptied, here we carefully marry together casks of our aged single malts, creating a harmonious whiskey of unusual depth and complexity. Very
I
exciting.
love
So,
it.
next things next, onto the ice malts. Jacqueline, I'm so glad you're sitting down. Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy Onassis.
Tell me, show me, what do they
So,
look like?
Big sister Mimi, let's go first for the glass. Big sister Mimi, she went to the mall. She went to Williams Sonoma and she got me Harry Potter glass, which with an etched snitch in it. It's a golden snitch with the wings, but it's just like etched on the glass and says Harry Potter on it. We
Freaking
love
love that. That's
it. And
cool.
it is very cool. So I got a set of those glasses. Like I need more glassware, like a hole in the head, but accompanying these whiskey glasses were the golden snitch ice molds. So here we are, but my ice molds wouldn't be complete without an accompaniment from Fancy Sprinkles.
Are you serious?
So I've made with the gold luster powder. This is like the size of the Death Star. And I will tell you, these ice molds were they're the best ice molds I've ever had. It is a sphere. It has the lines in it. I just made it gold and I put like gold glitter inside of it. There are two of them. I have two golden snitches.
Oh my freaking God.
They are
Those are
crazy.
the coolest ice molds I have ever. I like those more
I
than
have
I
to
like the Death Star. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know,
Those are cool.
I know, I know. It's hard to usurp the Death Star, but you know what? God damn it. Williams Sonoma and Potter
Those
did
really
it.
did.
They did
Yeah,
it.
for
And
real.
so, man, into the glass. So at first I was like, oh, I've been missing my Moonstone shimmer glitter from Fancy Sprinkles. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I was like, no. I have to use. So there's citrine glitter inside of where like the water was to make the ice mold. So there's glitter inside, but then I have that luster gold powder on the outside. So I was like,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
come in just swinging for the fences on these ice molds with the golden stitches. So it's just
Ah,
it's a very dense because I like a lot of ice in my drink. So this is a is just a ball of ice with like the ridges. It is just it looks like a golden snitch with like the wings folded up on top of it. It is incredible.
that is incredible. Everybody who's not on our YouTube, just at least just for this, just look at this ice mold. It's beautiful in the cup.
Yeah,
Just, oh
in
my
the cup, both.
God.
I'm holding up to
And
the
they came
camera right
out
now.
so good. Like,
I was afraid they were going to break.
so good.
No, they are high quality ice molds. And for everyone who loves Harry Potter, which I do, we do, you're in England. I'm representing you all the way over here in the great state of Colorado, United States. I'm gonna I'm gonna be using these for a while. Buckle up, guys. It's just gonna be golden stitches from here on out. Like not one, the ice molds did not leak. They linked together so well. It was incredible. Incredible. So
That's
I'm
amazing.
I
Those
know.
are
I was
amazing.
like, oh my
I'm
God.
off to Williams Sonoma immediately.
Immediately. But here you go. Pop the whiskey. It is now open. Let's go over the ice molds.
I'm drinking my whiskey Coke neat. Ooh, oh my God, that's gonna look so good.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, today it's like the show. It's like it's got that Englishness to it of the Harry Potter, but also with the Colorado whiskey right inside. So
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I didn't even get to tell you that today we accidentally ran into a Harry one of the sets that they used for Harry Potter. So you guys got to listen to our Patreon because we're gonna break down exactly what we're gonna break down what I've been doing for the last couple of
all
weeks.
her English adventures in the countryside,
Indeed.
which is wonderful. But in the meantime, we are getting into today's subject, which is things he said and I still stayed. So these are coming from our experiences. And also if we anything comes to mind with our friends that said we have permission to share that as well. But I am always an advocate of like leave at the first pink flag, like,
Right.
or a red flag. Like, don't let them stay for a long time. So, and in our pre-production talking about this, Jackie, this show idea was your idea.
Yeah.
And but then I was like, I don't have a ton of stuff to say or that I remember. Um, so, so I think I have a list of things that have happened in my experiences, and yet I stayed, but we learn these lessons so we don't have to go through them again. But you're like, I've got a few. So
Yeah. I got a couple.
I got a couple. And
After being married for 3 times, I've got a couple.
or even there was a few where I was like, hey, you said that, and I'm not gonna stay for me. Because as if anyone's been a long time listener, I am a dismissive avoidant. I will peace out as like the first crumb of inconvenience.
Right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Oh,
I feel like my list is also things they did. And listen, it's not just my ex-husbands. These are things that exes, these go back all the way to high school. Because I've just got a litany of bad decisions. A litany.
oh my God. You know what? I'm gonna come out swinging out of the gate with one of mine.
Go.
You're good. Okay. So and I want to say after this, I did take him to task after I had processed and talked to this person about it, but I was like, this is not cool. So I was dating this man and we were watching a documentary, and there was a woman being interviewed on the documentary. And you could tell that she was sitting in a chair, and you could also like see her body. She was wearing jeans and like a sweater, and like she was just talking. And then out of nowhere, he says, oh, your body is very similar to her body. So, like, unsolicited. And I was like, okay. And in my mind, I am the most gorgeous thing that's ever walked the earth. So
Love
it's
it.
also like I don't see myself as like the weight that I am, or it's like whatever reverse body dysmorphia I suffer from, I don't feel like I suffer from it. And I think I need to just more of that, please. So
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, maybe I am a little bit bigger than I realized or whatever, because if that is the person on the thing on the documentary. And then he says to me, because he's already said something unsolicited about my body. And then he says to me, you know, you're not skinny, right?
What the fuck?
And you know, it's at night, you know, it's after date night. We'd had a couple drinks, but I look at him and I was like, what? First of all, this is completely unsolicited. I didn't ask how my body, like, hey, if you see someone who's similar to my body, why don't you just tell me so I understand? So he just says, you know, you're not skinny, right? And I said, I never said that I was.
Who asked you,
Who
dude?
asked? So he just, and I was, so it
Shut
kind
up.
of just like, I'm never really good in the moment, right? So it's just
Right.
very like, okay, I'm processing. Like, I'm never angry, like in time. I'm always like fuming later. And then I
Yeah,
was going
I
to talk
find
about it
myself
later.
having the other side of the argument in the shower 2 days after.
Yeah, yeah. And then, but you know, and when it comes to like personal growth, where I was like, hey, like, because I am a non-confrontational person, I don't really like that. But I was like, hey, if we're gonna maybe be in a real, I mean, we had been dating. I think total we had dated for like 6 months, but at that point, maybe it was like 3 months in. But I was like, if we are going to try and do something, you can't like, you really hurt me. And
That
that
doesn't
was
make any
unsolicited.
sense.
Yeah.
Why? What
And I
the
never
hell? Where
said that
was
I
he?
was skinny. And skinny, that it like everything is relative. Skinnier than
Right.
what? Like bigger than what? You know?
That doesn't make any sense. That
Yeah.
makes no sense.
And
Well, where
again,
did
when
you
it
get
comes
that?
to like body issues or whatever, I was like, I'm a fucking open water marathon swimmer. Like, I don't give a shit what my body looks like. I care about what it can do.
I know that's right.
And it's going to change based on how hard I'm training or not, or if it's in the off season or, you know, what have you. So I was like, what do you, I don't care. You know, and I
Nope.
was like, I didn't hear you complaining when we were in bed.
I know you sure did like that jiggle though,
No.
didn't you?
Right. Something to grab
Every
on
single time.
to. And keep
Every
in
single
mind,
time.
I am maybe a straight size large. Like
You're normal.
I'm a normal
You're
person.
literally regular schmegular size.
I'm a
You're
I'm
not
a I'm
like,
a I'm a 10. I'm a size 10. Let's just talk about it. Whatever.
girl, you 10 out of 10
10
as
out
far
of
as I can
10. That's
see.
right. You know, so I was just like,
What the fuck?
I was like, first of all, you when we met on a dating site, but I was like, you've seen my profile pictures. This is not new. This is not our first date, you know, like
Yeah.
so I was just like, thanks for making me aware of something I've been fucking aware of since I was a child.
What the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here.
Like
So
women
yeah.
need to hear about their bodies and from people from more people than society and
Yeah.
people they're close to. Shut up.
Thank you for telling me something that I am fully fucking aware of. You know,
I saw myself in the
so
mirror.
that relationship did not work out. So,
Nuh-uh.
but I was very proud of myself. I did call him to task and let him know that he had hurt me, and he did apologize. So I did appreciate that. But it was like, God, when someone really does say something so out of pocket like that, it's like, you
Mm-mm.
really need to like make up for it at that point. And we can't
Mm-hmm.
blame it all on your ADHD because I have it too, and I don't say comments like that.
You
So
really let the intrusive thoughts win on that one.
yeah, yeah. I was like,
I
good for him.
mean, it happens. It happens to a lot of them, to the best of them,
To the
really.
best of them. All right, that's mine, Jacqueline. What? Hit me
Well,
with a couple of yours.
I've got 72. Let me pick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this one is probably like the first one that I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he like a lot of things were just actions that I was just like, why the fuck am I with this person?
Yeah.
And then stayed. Um, he got so high on I don't know, like two different kinds of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
That he fell asleep standing up in the refrigerator,
Like with the refrigerator open?
open.
Okay.
And then the refrigerator came down on top of him, jolting him awake. But everything came out of said refrigerator. He was that high.
So he was leaning on the refrigerator and it fell over on
He
him, and
was
finally he
looking
came.
in the refrigerator for snacks
Because
because he was high and had the munchies and fell asleep in the refrigerator, and it came down on top of him and everything came out. Like this man would just fall asleep, like get high and just fall asleep places. Like in that same week, he was just asleep on the porch, and my mother had come over, and my mother and my aunt were like on the porch, and he was just like laying on the porch, not swing, but like bench that we
Mhm.
had, passed the fuck out, high as a kite. Drug problem, definite drug problem, but I
Mhm.
still stayed.
You still stayed.
That was my man. My man's my man's.
Isn't he so cute? Mm.
Big problem. Big
Oh my gosh.
problem.
I remember this is when okay, this is very close to the end of my marriage.
Okay.
And he is very deep in Navy special warfare. And he is so detached at this point, like there's things that I cannot be read in on, but he is obvious, he needs mental help and we need help. But he's it's just like he's got to be a man, got to bury it all down, blah blah blah. So at the very beginning of our marriage, like a couple years in, we went to couples counseling like once or twice, and then we just kind of had when you kind of see eye to eye finally to be like, hey, I value you, I want to still be in this marriage, and like let's work on it. And so it's like we went to couples therapy just to know that we were both serious, but like we didn't really stay in it. And then like yeah, it did get better. Like we both were like, let's refocus on each other. Totally fine. Great. So I say that because like we had said that we would go before, right? Because I had
Right.
told him like if we don't get off this path, we are going to get divorced. So it was just like, oh, kind of a wake up call of like, let's just like make each other a
Try to fix
priority.
this.
Totally fine. So we had gone once or twice before. Totally fine. So this is at the end of my marriage. And I say, can we just please go to couples counseling? Can we just get back on the same page? And he says to me, that's bad for my career.
What the fuck?
It's
Couples
like,
counseling as a former Army wife is not bad for your career. In fact, the military encourages it.
yeah, and in Navy Special Warfare, there's a lot of mental health resources that these people can go. But if you apparently, that's what I was told, that if you take advantage of them, then it looks as a sign of weakness that you need help, that you can't handle it. So then it's going to be very detrimental if you do use those mental health services for people in high stress special warfare careers.
That
That's
part is absolutely true, but marriage counseling,
and I
that part
said,
is not. Like they actually encourage that because like these dudes be getting divorced
yeah,
because
like
they're fucked off.
the SEALs
No
have like a
offense.
90% divorce rate. And I was like, we can go under my name. We can go like
Yeah.
you just have to show
Civilian.
it's bad for my career.
Shut up.
And so what I hear is that I was like, okay, like our marriage is not as so when you get to the point when women are just kind of checked out, we're not
Yeah.
begging anymore, we're not crying anymore. We're just like, okay, I had just resigned myself to just wait him out until he went back into the fleet, until we got
Yeah.
stationed in Virginia or whatever. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'll just wait for him to get out of this environment and then just come back to me, like
Yeah.
where he's not in such high stress anymore. And so, but he didn't decide to wait. He left me
Nope.
before I decided to leave him. Which I was not, because I was just going to wait. I was going to wait him out. But when he says therapy, it's bad for my career. And I was like, okay, you have sworn 4 years at a time to the Navy. You have sworn your entire life to me.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you loud. Thank you. I hear you loud and clear. I know it. I know what's important now. And yet I
Yeah.
stayed. I stayed. I wasn't I was gonna stay in that marriage. I,
Yeah.
you know. So all
God
right.
damn it.
So, your turn, your turn.
Okay. 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 Immediately after getting married to him, he handed me his entire VA file. This was a box. And he goes, okay, now you're in charge of it. of his VA records.
And
Me,
anyone dealing
I'm
with
in charge.
who have ever dealt with the VA, it is a fucking clusterfuck.
I'm not, that's not my fucking job.
I know you have been married to a series of veterans. Was it the second one or the third one?
We're not disclosing which one
Okay.
this is.
I
We
I
are
think
not. I'm not disclosing which one is which. Some of these are some of these obviously that was a husband because we know that they were in the military,
Mhm.
but some of these are actually from high school, some of these are from like my early dating life, you know, in between things like that, but that was shocking.
Mhm.
But I, girl, did I pick up that box and say, oh,
I could
dumbass,
do it. Yeah.
dumbass.
Mhm.
Sometimes I just want to go back in time and be like, shut the fuck up, punch myself in the face.
Just be like, that's not mine to deal with. Like, obviously, you
Literally
wanted a
not my job.
mom and not a wife. You wanted a
Yeah.
caretaker.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion of which one I think it is.
He gave me like full instructions. Like you need to read through all of these records. There's a binder in there of everything my previous wife did. And like you need to just get caught up and make sure that all of my appointments are made and then put my appointments in your calendar and remind me when my appointments.
Mm-mm.
Sounds like things you can do since you know the instructions.
Yeah. Or, and I mean, I'm like, we would like to think that we do not marry idiots. I didn't marry an idiot. He might have been idiotic at times, but he's a smart man. But it's like, you know how to make a calendar appointment in your phone.
He tried to coach. That's the thing. He was trying to coach me on how to make calendar appointments in my phone.
I was like, no.
You could do that for yourself. What do you mean? Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Here's one. This is a very sweet and simple one. It wasn't in a relationship with this person, but it never got to the second date. But here's what he said. He said, we're getting to know you like first date. He says he never watches anything more than once. Like when he watches a show, he watches a show and that's it. He watches a movie once and then like that's it. And he moves on to the next thing. And I was like, let
Not
me
you.
tell you a little bit about me because I do watch new stuff. I'm watching the new House of the Dragon, watch Game of Thrones. Like I watch like Loki comes out. Like when things intrigue me, I do watch them and then they become in the rotation of like comfort blanket watching.
Yeah, you love to watch things over and over and over and over.
Over.
You
Hmm.
probably know so many scripts,
Yeah.
like so many. And I could probably name like 12 right off the bat that I know that you've watched a million times.
I've
12
I've watched
without even
Anchorman.
trying.
I've watched Anchorman so many times. It was funny. It got not funny, and then kept watching. And then it became funny again. Like I can't tell you. I think I watch the movie Aliens once a month. Like anything on Disney, it is just like because again, I don't like TV or really outside influences to be in control of where my emotions are. Like I don't like other things to like. I was like, oh, it's manipulative. It's telling me how to feel. So it's like I know it's comfort of like, I know how I'm going to feel. I know if it's scary or not. I know. And so I was like, what do you mean you don't ever watch it? And then my ADHD tendencies is like, let's dissect it. Let's go down this rabbit hole. I have got questions. So I will like beat a dead horse and go to the nth degree on anything that I consume
Mm-hmm.
until I'm good. And then I'm like, okay, let's just have a just push play comfort show, movie, music, whatever it is. I'm happy to bring more things into the fold. It's just not everything gets to be into the fold.
Wow.
So
You do love your.
I was like, this thing is not, I was like, I was like, this is never gonna work out.
Yeah, if he only watches things once,
And
like
all I want to do is watch
boring.
the same thing over and over again.
What do you do when there's nothing? What do
Well,
you do?
in this world, I'm sure there's so much to consume that he would hardly ever have to watch it again. But I was like, what do you do on Star Wars Day? You just watch all Star Wars again, all of it, Like, what do you mean never watch it? I'm sure that's to the nth degree that he never rewatches anything. But again, he's just like, no, I've seen it. I don't have to watch it again. I was like, but dude, when I watched Fight Club for the first time, on VHS. I was rewinding that shit. Like I was like, where is Tyler Durden? You know, like I get
I love that
into
movie.
it, you
I've
know?
seen that movie probably 100 times. I do like that
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
That's
You
one of
know,
those movies that I'm like, oh, something new. I didn't notice before. Oh, that makes sense. You know
this
what
is
I'm
why we
saying? Like it's
rewatch
one of those
stuff.
mind fucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
But I
Definitely.
knew I was like, that person is not the person for me. And he said just a very harmless thing. You know,
Yeah.
it was a very sweet first date, but I was like, let me cut you off at the pass there, bud. It's okay. So again, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to all be bad things. And I was like, also, I'm like, I don't need to go on a second date with this person. I know it's not going to work out.
Yeah. No, you didn't. That was like the big do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah. I think it would be more if he was just into like this really weird fandom that was like really deep down his own rabbit hole kind of thing. Then I'd be like, okay, like let's get into it. Let's dissect that. But it was just like, no. I was like, how surface level is this?
Yeah, that
That you
doesn't make
just
any sense.
consume and not dissect.
And then you just say goodbye to
Yeah.
you don't think about it? Don't want to watch it again? That doesn't make sense to me. That's not
Yeah.
reading it.
Because I mean, let's Rachel hyperfixates.
Jackie hyperfixates. God, I
Yes.
love a good hyperfixation.
Love a good
What?
hyperfixation. So yeah, that was so I didn't stay, but that is also Rachel just knowing herself to be like, that's nice.
Mhm.
That's sweet of you.
Yeah. This is my favorite one. Constantly, constantly. It was every single day. Complained about lids not being on water bottles, or they're not screwed on all the way tight. Every single day, he would find a water bottle, point out that the lid was not screwed on thusly, come over, instruct me on how to screw on the lid to the water bottle, tell me that, hey, I talked to my friends about this. You're talking to your friends about water bottles? Okay. That's fucking weird. They said, I said, when you take a drink out of the water bottle, what do you do with the lid? And then he said, my friend said they put them back on. And then I asked them, do you screw them on all the way? And then they said, yes. But I don't screw on the lids to the water bottles all the way, Rachel. I feel like you know why, but I'll tell you. It's because I have arthritis in my hands and I can't open them if I do that. It's already hard for me to open them. So I don't close them all the way once I have them open because, oh my gosh.
I thought it would probably be because you're like, I'm still actively drinking it.
No, yeah, that's exactly
Like
what
I
I'm
haven't
saying.
put it down and walked away from my desk and then come back the next day. Like I'm still actively drinking it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's just like
But
you.
that's why I leave it unscrewed just a little bit. I leave it on. I screw it on just enough so that if it's spilled or like if it fell, a bunch wouldn't come flowing out. There might be droplets because like I don't want to screw it on all the way, but I
Mhm.
am still actively drinking it. But one time, he picked up the water bottle kind of aggressively and he the water the lid came off in in his face. And from then on, every single day that I was with this man, he would complain about the way I didn't put on the lids to the water bottles. And it was just like a thing. And I'm telling you, 30 minutes of talking about it.
I don't know. I that seems very like red flag to me of just like
You think?
if it's not the obviously, but it's like the if it's not the lid to the water bottle, like then else is it? Like it could be like, hey, this
Anything
is a
does
pet
it.
peeve that she does, but the fact that it facilitated a 30-minute conversation, argument about
No,
everything that
it
you're doing
was
wrong.
it wasn't even a conversation. It wasn't even an argument. It was just 30 minutes, a 30-minute long diatribe.
Of berating.
That's the word I used actually. And he, after I used that word a couple of times, he went and Googled it and got real mad.
Well, if the shoe fits is literally what you are doing.
Why are you mad, dude?
Yeah.
You
Mm,
mad because it's true?
mm,
Mm-mm.
mm. Oh my gosh. I mean, everyone knows who I'm talking about unless I say I'm on a date because I've only been married once. But I remember, okay, so one time, this is what he said, and I still stayed. So I had gone out to a wine night with my girls when I was living in San Diego. So we go out to the wine bar and then I Uber home. And so I'm feeling a little like saucy, like, I'm gonna, And so I climb into bed with my husband and he will not wake up. He is just like non-responsive. So I just roll. Okay, okay. Someone doesn't want to do it. That's fine. Like I'm not doing anything to like, okay. He's still asleep. He's not waking up. Totally fine. So then, but I'm like, I'm still feeling a little randy. So I break out my personal toy and then
Right.
I take care of myself in bed next to my husband that is asleep. Apparently he's dead to the world. So the next morning, he wakes up and he goes into the closet, which is on my side of the room, and he sees my little toy on my bedside table. And he was like, "Did you take care of yourself last night?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did. You wouldn't wake up." And then he says, "Are we in trouble?" And this is like a few days before the therapy is bad for my career. And he says, "Are we in trouble?" And I was like, "Yeah, I told you that." Or maybe this is like a couple days afterwards. I was like, "Yeah, I told you that." Like if you if I'm telling you I want to go to therapy and you're telling me no, and so you're obviously not responding to me when I'm trying to initiate as well. And then it's just like, are we in trouble? I was like, yeah, I told you that. But also, if your woman is taking care of herself in bed next to you, there are a lot of other places I could be doing that would
Yeah,
be
no
very
shit.
or go getting it elsewhere, which I never did in my marriage, but it was just very much like me pleasuring myself in my own home in my own bed is next to my husband is like that is a sign that things are bad. Like, buddy, wake the fuck up.
That
You
doesn't make
know?
any sense.
So, but I was like, yeah, you didn't wake up. And so I'm just gonna, but it was just like, are we in trouble? I was like, yeah, I told you that. And then he
Duh.
just, and then he doesn't take that as a warning sign. He was like, oh, okay, nothing. Just like your wife is literally telling you your marriage is in trouble. Please do something. I'm begging. And he goes, "Oh, okay." And then that's it. I was like, "Okay."
What?
So that's why when he left, I was like, "Yo, man, like I'm not gonna fight you on this. Like, you open that door, I'm kicking it in and walking through. Like, I didn't leave, but I was like, I'm not also gonna stay while you drag your feet."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because I
How
always
do you
say, like,
acknowledge something is wrong and then and like ask you like, are we in
are
trouble?
we in
And then
trouble?
do
Yeah.
fucking nothing.
Yeah, I told you. Yes, 1,000%. Yes, we are. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, good to know.
Have
And that's the
fun.
thing because like he left me, but he would not file for divorce. And I was like, I'm not gonna sit in purgatory while you like try like ring me through it. So I was
Yeah.
they're like so like he left me, but I'm the one that like filed for divorce, but I'm not the one that initiated the divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so many things to say about that, but we're not back on your marriage again. we could talk. We could really talk about marriages
Mm.
so much, can't we? Um, let's see. Let's see. Oh, I FaceTimed him. Wow. I was in the car
Hmm.
with my sister, and this man, I had makeup on. I looked so pretty. Me and my
Hmm.
sister are about to just go have a quick dinner, like out in town. We we don't talk to other people when we're together. Like it's not that big of a deal.
A girls' night.
Um,
We're only here for our girls.
girls' night, exactly. He goes, who are you going to see? Are you going on a date? You're obviously cheating on me because look at the makeup. Look at how you look. Accused me. So I'm on FaceTime. My sister is in the car driving. And he accused me of being on the way to a date because I looked pretty with my sister, who also looked very pretty. What the fuck? Still stayed.
Still
Still
stayed.
stayed.
Yeah, just be like, hey, babe, you all he had to be, hey babe, you guys look great. Have a fun time.
Still stayed. This one liked to accuse me of cheating on him on a regular basis.
You know, here's the
Like,
thing. I think that's projection. Like they're saying the quiet part out loud.
oh no, I knew that in my gut. I knew that.
Mhm.
It was always like, oh, when we first got together, I was dating other people. I didn't know if he was dating other people. I was not looking for a commitment.
Mhm.
2 years down the road, 2.5, getting very close to getting divorced. He goes through my phone, finds messages from when we very first got together, and then accuses me of cheating on him. Okay. Accuses me of cheating on him. The worst part of this is that I find out later. I found out before we got married, obviously. I found out around like before he started the divorce proceedings that during that time, I was the other woman when we first started dating.
Gasp.
Gasp. So he's mad that I was seeing other people when he first started seeing me, but he was married. But I'm the cheater.
Take
What?
this.
That's crazy. That's crazy. More of the cheating guy. More of the cheating guy. I'm just going to follow this up. One time, he looked me dead in the eye, told me he was about to go basically participate in a train, a gangbang with him and
Mhm.
his homies. And
Mhm.
another woman looked me dead in the eye and was like, just to let you know, I'm going to go participate in this. And then I'll see you in a couple of hours. Calm as a cucumber. Like he wasn't just admitting that he was about to go cheat on me.
And you guys were in a committed relationship at that point.
Yeah, we were married
Oh,
at this point.
yeah.
Looked me dead in the eye. And then when I lost my mind on him,
Mhm.
threw my phone out of the sixth story of our hotel room
Mhm.
that we had paid $250 a night to stay in,
Mhm.
and then proceeded to put me back in the car and drive me 4 hours home because I lost my mind on him. And I still stayed. I still stayed. Yeah. What
Oh,
the fuck,
oh,
dude?
Jacqueline. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude, this is like crazy abuse. Like, it is terrible. This is like another level of like he had me so controlled. But it was right after this I sort of snapped out of it and was
Mhm.
like, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this. And that's when I started planning like my big leave.
I think it's these things that kind of pile up because, like, again, when it comes to like a first like red flag, you're kind of like, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. But it's like for you, it was like the accumulation of all
It
of these things that you're just
it
like,
was just like, how much can I handle? And then I'd look around at women that I knew whose husbands were, they were probably the same. They probably are the exact same way to their
yeah.
wives. And I would like kind of take cues from them. And I'm like, okay, well, if they can like still deal with it and still love their man, blah, blah, blah. Cause like I was very attracted to him. But like with every single thing he did, I was just like, I fucking hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. But I
Yeah.
was like sort of trapped. So I
Yeah.
still stayed. He looked at me and said, I'm gonna go run a train on this bitch with my homies.
And
I'll
here's
be
the thing.
right back.
He's like, at
Like,
least I
what
was,
the
at least I
fuck?
was being honest. Like,
Literally,
I don't
at
know.
least I told you. That's
I don't know. For
exactly what he
you,
said.
whatever the boundaries within a relationship are, that's fine. But I was like, I don't know. If you're gonna say get married and be like forsaking all others,
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. But here's the thing. I think what was really upsetting in hindsight is that it wasn't me getting the train ran off.
You what? You can't run a train on me,
I
buddy.
was
Come
like,
on. You're adventurous.
on her? What about yeah? I that
Yeah, but he doesn't want anyone else to fuck you.
right, but he wants to go put his dick in everyone else, and I have a theory about that.
Mm.
Men who do that.
Hmm.
So, you got any more?
Yeah, I have one. This relates back to our Patreon episode of our Roman empires when
Uh,
I was telling the story of the time I was interviewed by US Customs and Immigration.
yeah,
Um, and so the long story short of it, for our non-Patreon subscribers, anyways, subscribe to our Patreon. The whole story is there. It's hilarious. Anyways,
yes,
so like when we were getting interviewed, for his green card, the interviewee was asking Mr. Mr. Whitefield, what is the one thing you love most about your wife? You know, and then my question was, Mrs. Whitefield, what is the one thing you dislike most about your husband? So the fact that his question did come well before mine in the interview, but he's out of everything, we are newlyweds. We've been married for a year at this point. He could say anything. She is so bubbly. She is so fun. She is funny. Anything. What do you love most about your wife? And he says, I love that she puts up with me. So to me, his answer is a reflection of like what I do for him and not anything about
nothing.
about me intrinsically as a person.
Yeah,
But I
because he
also
didn't know
take
you.
that
He didn't care.
also true. He's like, oh yeah, like I finally got someone to marry me to stay in the country, you know? And but I also take, and this is probably a takeaway for me, that these lessons, once we kind of sit and dissect them and really learn and lean into them, that my partner now, when I think about all the good characteristics that he has, I make sure that it's not, you make me laugh. It's, you are funny. You are caring.
Right,
I do appreciate the way he cares for me, but he is thoughtful, full stop. Because it's
right.
like, I want him to know that these characteristics that I value in him are not only a reflection of what I want in a partner, but who he is as a person.
Yeah,
So like the way I speak to my partner now is because I've taken these lessons that I have leaned into and kind of understand, like to have a greater understanding, to be like, it's not about what you do for me, it's about who you are as a person, and that how I appreciate who you are as a person. So I change the way I speak to him about the things that I like about him, that I love about him, that I love about our relationship and what he brings to it, because I was like, it's not about, yeah, I think you're so funny, but it's like, you are so funny. Like, you are so
yeah,
loving. I love the way he loves me. He is loving,
yeah,
kind of thing. So I make it a point to reflect back to my partner very good qualities to them, because I don't ever want to have to be made to make someone feel the way my husband did in that interview,
yeah.
of like, there's no qualities about me that you like except that I'm willing to put up with your shit, you know? So it's
That's
like, even
crazy.
though that's a funny story, there's very deep themes behind that story on Patreon.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, let's
And
see.
also, if you guys want to hear what I hated most about my husband in that interview, that's it's a good bazinga.
It really is.
It really is.
I
So
just remembered.
It's our Roman Empire episode on Patreon. Please go check it out. It is so, it
Definitely.
is totally worth it. Anyways, so that is one, but yeah, I know you've got a few.
Oh, I do. One of them called me fat, just told me I was fat.
Oh,
He was just like,
not
listen,
even,
you're
you're not skinny,
you're
right?
no, straight up. I was just like, seeing there, I was like, my clothes aren't fitting me anymore. And he was just like, well, that's because you're getting fat. But don't worry, we're gonna fatten you up a little bit more, and then I'm gonna get you a gym membership. And then it's all gonna go to, we're gonna work you out really good, and it's all gonna go to your butt.
Oh, so he wants weight on you, just where he wants it.
Where he wants it. He was like, yeah, no, but you're getting fat.
Or like,
But I'm gonna get you a gym membership after you get fat enough.
there's always better ways to say these things. It's to be like, oh, you must be so comfortable and happy in our relationship, baby. Like, I'm so comfortable and happy too.
Literally. Why
Because
don't they
fat
understand
and
that we
happy
get
is
a little chunky when we're happy? A
yeah,
little
it's
chunk.
fine. It's
Like,
happy
you're
way. It's
welcome.
happy way. Yeah.
No, but he would like grab it and be like, oh, you're almost there. And then I'm going to get your gym membership. Mind you, I weigh 145 pounds when he's saying this to me.
Dude.
But I was coming from 120 when I was heavily like just depressed and had a never ate things like that. Like,
Yeah.
so now I'm at a normal size, and my smaller pants, my size twos,
Your depression
you know,
pants don't fit.
my depression pants don't
Your
fucking
healthy
fit.
pants do. I'm not saying 120 pounds is not healthy. I'm just saying for your body and what you like.
For my height and my body, 120 pounds is not healthy. It is
Mhm,
not. I look very, very sick when I am that skinny.
mhm.
It is not healthy at all. My skin is terrible. It's just like it wasn't a good look. But it's not that I was healthy either. I was just like I gained my weight back. And every once in a while he would like grab my little panza, my little pooch, which you know what? I like my pooch. I like it.
Mhm.
I think it's
Mhm.
sexy. I think
No, no.
pooches are
Mhm.
very sexy on women, and more I wish more women felt the way I did, because I don't understand the obsession with flat stomachs. Not that if you have a flat stomach that's terrible, but I personally love a little belly pooch on a lady. I love those Romanesque,
Yes.
statuesque bodies. Like I think they're so beautiful and so feminine. Like Jesus, we're
Mhm.
supposed to be soft, you know. But he would like grab it and shake it and like
And not
say
worship it. He made you feel
no. He'd be like,
bad.
"You're almost there. I'll get you a gym membership in a couple more months." What the fuck? Like he was body shaming me
Mhm.
into going to the gym. And then when he finally did go to the get the membership, he got us both gym memberships. And then when I wanted to go and I would put my like clothes on, he'd be like, "Who are you going to meet?" What the
There's no happy medium. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
yeah. Yeah, straight up call me fat, and I'm regular schmegler sized.
Mhm.
I'm right there with you on that feeling. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh. One thing my
And
ex-husband,
dude was not in great shape. Dude was shaped like Humpty fucking Dumpty.
that's what
Shut
the
up.
thing is. It's like everyone's like, "Ooh, like to me, I will say I love a dad bod because
Oh,
it
love it.
makes me feel very comfortable in my own body. Because like I said, and you used this word to describe me, and I was like, oh my God, is that what I am? You called me an athlete, Jacqueline.
You
And I
are. You
and
do
I was
have an
like, oh my
athlete
God, oh
body.
my God, I am an athlete. And I was like, oh my God, so it's just like, but obviously, if anyone sees me, I'm not going to say no to tacos and margaritas at every
I
chance I
know
get,
that's fucking right.
right?
You know I'm an athlete, but you know I like
And
pasta.
tacos, yesterday was Taco Tuesday. I had margaritas and tacos. Absolutely, I did. So
Hell yeah.
it's just like, okay, like I can throw down and swim a couple miles, but I'm also like, I like tacos and margaritas. Like my body is just
Word.
at that middle point of like
Comfy.
athletic, and also I just love food, and if you are what you eat, then I am sweet, like I do love desserts. So it's just like it is what it is. Like, I have an awesome body because I say I have an awesome body. Like,
Word,
I'm fabulous because I say I'm fabulous, and I'm the one who gives myself value. And it
word.
doesn't come from anybody else, you know. But on that note, I'm going to tell something that the Limey used to do. And I would say if this is being said in a funny kind of way, it's one thing, but this was over years. And like, I am smart, I know it, but I also don't know everything in this world. And he's coming from the old country, and there's a lot of things he knows that you don't get exposed to in America. You just know different
You
things.
really don't. Sidebar. One thing I learned when I came to England is that I don't speak English.
You speak
I
them.
speak American.
So culturally, we're very different in our marriage. And he would always say to me, when things were good, it wasn't so bad, but when things weren't so good, this really, really stung. And he would say, "Good thing you're pretty."
I say that
Yeah, I
to
could say like, "Oh,
everybody.
good thing I'm pretty." It's one thing if it's in jest, but if it's just like
Yeah,
you want to say something worse, but that's the only thing you feel like you can get away with, it's like,
yeah,
"Good thing you're pretty." Like there's two
yeah.
different ways to say that. Like, good thing you're pretty.
I like to say like when people like when my girlfriends do silly things like just
Mhm.
airheaded things,
Yeah.
like we're smart women. We
Yeah.
really are. But I'm an idiot sometimes. And so whenever my sister or my friends or anything do something like crazy and you're just like, ah, I go, ah, you're so pretty. Like that's how I say it. You are so
So
pretty.
pretty. But again, it's like through 13 years of marriage, not in the best years of our marriage.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure he was just like, good thing.
Good thing you're pretty.
Good thing. I don't know how
But
to do
God
it, but I
forbid we say that we're pretty.
know they get so mad. I'm gorgeous. I don't know what
I'm
anybody's
so
problem is.
gorgeous.
So
Mm-hmm.
pretty.
Mm-hmm. I'm the prettiest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, I loved
I
that you
don't know.
said about me because we are about our friendship here. You were like, because we've known each other since we were 14. And Jackie, you were
Mhm.
like, Rachel, you are getting prettier every day. You're
I
more
know
pretty
that's
now than you
right.
was at 14. I was like, I thank you so much. Yes, I am.
Yes. Yes.
I'll
I
take
mean, I
it.
feel like there's so many women out there that like don't understand that we are just literally getting more beautiful. Like you're cute when you're a kid, and I'm sure you like we're very insecure and stuff, but like you're just in your cute stage. But now we're full grown women, like in our full
Mhm.
power, and like we are just getting more gorgeous.
We're
All
just
of
girl
you out
bossing
there,
so.
we're talking
And
about you guys too.
yes, absolutely. Because when we listen for podcast research, men with microphones with their own podcasts, who's more red pill men, not all
Uh,
men, of course, but they say, oh, like women peak at 25. I was like, let me tell you, I am just getting warmed up.
Literally, that's the dumbest shit. I wouldn't
Yeah.
do the shit.
I was
First
like,
of
we are
all,
40 wonderful. I was like, we are fucking, I'm not even,
if we're talking only about sex, you would not want to
not
sleep
even.
with me. It's
Mm-mm.
20, but now I'm a wild stallion, so
Yeah.
get
I
it
was like,
together.
everything about me is better in my 40s.
Everything, everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what's
Any
another?
any last things before we get into takeaways, spell binding?
Listen, he says something that hurts your fucking feelings. Run, bitch.
Yeah.
Run.
I
Like you
everyone
can
is
point it
entitled.
out. Honestly, here's the thing. If he says something that hurts your feelings, I'm not saying like run, but what I am saying is fucking point that shit out. And if he's not majorly apologetic and doesn't want to change his attitude or change the way he speaks to you, then run. Then get the fuck out of there. Because if you heard any of these any of my stories, this was multiple people. I'm gonna be very honest. Like the last one I had is that one of my exes just played video games constantly. I love a man who plays video games. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather them be home playing video games than out at the bar with their homies. But he was messy. And he would look at me and tell me when I like left a cup on the table that I was messy. And then when I would clean and he would still be gaming, he would give me a high five.
Because
And
that's
then
women's
he
domestic labor to do.
and then he would continue gaming and not help. Ugh, this is so infuriating.
Yeah, like for me, my
I guess.
takeaways, because I mean, obviously I was married for 13 years and it stretches even before our interview with US Customs and Immigration, you know. But I would just say, you know, like one, it's up to us to show people how we will be treated. And now that we know better, we can do better. Just be like when that man was like, you know, you're not skinny, right? I was like, I'm gonna tell you that you upset me, and I'm gonna tell you why that is not acceptable when you date me,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then it's just like, okay, it didn't work out, and I was like, let's bygones be bygones. Bye, thank you for your time. You know, that's great. But it's like,
Yeah.
if this is repeated patterns, like at that point, leave. Are we all entitled to have a bad day? Are we all not our best selves? Yes, of course. You know, absolutely. I'm
Sure.
sure these people that I've discussed can be like, oh, well, this is what you said, Rachel. Like you're, you know, it totally fine. I get that. But again, it's like if you have this ick, if you have these like, oh, I'm not quite sure. Oh, I'm not quite sure. Like if that shit lingers and there isn't like rectification of like this behavior of like, I am sorry and I won't speak to you like that again. That's a green flag by all means, you know.
Yeah.
But it's
Exactly.
like, because that's what's in a relationship will be. Someone would just told me, like, you're not going to be in a relationship and come out of it with like shiny, pristine armor, you know, like you're going to get
Yeah.
banged up here and there. But again, if
Yep.
you're, but I'm not saying you have to take a beating in your relationship, metaphorically or physically, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But I was like, yeah, you are
Or
going to
at all.
or at all. But I was like, you will go through stuff in a relationship, no doubt. But again, like a standard that I hold in my relationship, I was like, I don't mind if we argue or there is disagreements, but we will not keep arguing about the same thing.
Right.
So
Ugh.
that's just a standard in my relationship. Like we can work it out. I can figure out how to move forward. And then it's like, okay, but I'm not going to keep years down the road, keep arguing about the same thing.
Right.
So that's just my takeaway about it. Because if you see someone and you
My
learn about them, it's just more of like, okay, new things are going to come up.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like said my takeaway already. I was just gonna repeat myself, I think.
Oh, say it
I
again,
do that a lot.
loud and proud.
ADHD. Just it was kind of like the same thing that you were just saying, like as long as they acknowledge what they said and they want to do better, then that's fine. But if they are just like if they double down and never apologize, never change, and berate you for 30 minutes about a fucking water bottle lid, get the fuck out of there. Get the
Yeah,
fuck out of there.
yeah.
And bitch, if you're listening, you know I'm talking to you. I'm saying to this new girl. Anyways, time to pull
Time.
these cards.
Yes. So thank you. Excellent. Excellent whiskey bent portion. Oh, it's so pretty in my glass. And my golden snitch ice cube is still more than 50% alive.
Dude,
It is
that thing is
crazy.
so cool.
I can't
That
wait.
thing is so cool.
Mm.
Just a side note, because I am in England, it is now 9:58 at night.
10 p.m.
The sun is still up. I had to turn on my light in my room just because it's sort of dusk now at 10 p.m.
I know.
This is shocking to the senses.
When I lived in Washington State, the sun sets in the summer at 10 p.m. And I was like, should I go to bed or start making dinner?
That's what my sister said. She was like, sometimes I get hungry and I look down and it's 9:30
Should make dinner and then promptly climb into bed. Oh, Jackie,
immediately.
thank you. I know. I can't wait to hear all about your England adventures over in England over on our Patreon. But in the meantime, it is now spellbound time. I
It
see you
is time for
shuffling
me to
those
pull these
cards,
cards. It's
shuffling
been
those
so
cards.
difficult. Listen, I don't have an arm, so I gotta hold these so that I can knock 3 times, you know.
I know you didn't
Okay.
pack your mic stand, just your mic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it
Weight is
just
an issue.
adds. Yeah. And I wanted to go shopping after I unloaded the ranch because I did bring ranch for
The
my
wrong.
English
I
for
thought
my
you were gonna
English
say.
friends.
I thought you were saying, oh, like you're being raunchy.
No, I'm saying ranch with an
Ranch and
accent.
English accent.
Ranch.
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 The Hidden Valley Ranch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I brought. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you this quick story while I'm looking up this card. I have the, I don't know, number 20 card that I'm looking up. We got 8 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles. So people know what I'm looking up right now. But I brought this ranch to my sister's neighbor, and the way she was so thrilled.
They love it. Like, oh my gosh,
So thrilled.
our $1 million idea is just to import ranch dressing
Literally.
into England, into the United Kingdom. Because
Exactly.
not like they're very known for, well, maybe for a nice curry, for their spicy palate. I'm like, of course, ranch is the white food. It's the white person seasoning.
It really is. It really is.
Do it.
The ranch the ranch that I actually brought with me fits so perfectly in my purse that sometimes I bring it out when I know I'm gonna get chips. That way I
Fries.
that way French fries. That way the English people see me and they see me ridiculously pulling the ranch bottle out of my purse, and I just find it funny.
Well, to me, I'm like, get a really big bag that you can bring like the Costco twin size bottle out.
That would be
You
so
could be like
funny.
Beyonce. I got hot sauce in my bag, swag.
So the first card is Judgment.
Judgment. Oh my goodness, this is a good card.
Hold on. It has a lot to do with reflection, reckoning, and listening to your inner voice.
Spirit. Spirit is here with us.
Literally, like this is just like, listen to your inner voice. Just it's always right. And if there's one thing I learned from every single one of my marriages, is that my intuition is extremely loud and my gut is my inner voice. And if I don't listen to it, things are going to end up fucking terrible every single time. The second card is the 8 of Cups. It's still upright, and it has to do with knowing when to walk the fuck away. I'm not even joking.
Spirit.
There's a feeling of disappointment sort of associated with this, and that's probably what keeps us from not walking away. But like, listen to your gut, because you need to walk away. This is crazy. And then
all we could do is
fine.
What's the last one?
That's all I can do. This one, so the Knight of Pentacles has to do with like diligence and hard work, and I think that just has to do with working really hard to know when to listen to your gut and walk away.
Yeah, and kind of,
but by doing that, you're going to see success. So like, you're going to understand when to listen to your gut, when to go for it, when to walk away, when to know when it's time to make the right call. And yeah, that's just what all this is about. Like, Spirit is literally like, yes.
To me, that kind of means like do the inner work on yourself, so you know, like, hey, I'm not gonna put up with that anymore. So it's like, yeah, I have a lot of experiences with my ex-husband, the one that I have, but it's like, hey, I don't like I've been divorced for 6 years, and the longest relationship I've ever been in is this one right now, and we just hit 9 months. So it's just like, because I don't tolerate fools, but I did that because I did the inner work to be like, that's not going to work for me. Thank you.
Right.
And to be strong enough to know my own power and to walk away, that I'm not going to settle for less just to settle to have something,
That's crazy.
I love it. Spirit's strong today.
Dude, in this house on this land, this old Roman era land.
But the spirit wrong in England. Ooh.
Wait till I tell you what I have experienced since being here. Speaking of spirits.
Oh my
God. Go
God.
up to Patreon. England is haunted.
Absolutely. Okay. So with that being said, first of all, if you're not already, please follow us on Patreon. You get early access to shows. spicy behind the scenes content, extra shows. It's all there. It is $3.95 plus tax a month. Please follow us there. You will not regret it. Early access. And then also, if you want to leave us a 5-star review on anywhere you are listening to your podcast, that is always appreciated. And we might just read your review on the show. Thank you so much, as
Yes.
well as I
What
don't know.
else? Oh, follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Whiskey Bent Spellbound. And if you want to reach out with us, ask us a question, send us a idea for a podcast episode, you can always email us at checkthisout@blackandwhitefield.com. But until then, join us over on Patreon. But in the meantime, Jackie, Clinkies.
Clinkies.
Mm. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.